Welcome once again. In my previous series, I had indicated that as part of His Excellency's vision, industrialize Ghana, using the 24-hour economy initiative, we clearly indicated that energy was supposed to play a key role. Because the whole idea of a 24-hour economy is to make it possible that productive work can be done round the clock. That people can work in the morning till evening, and people can work from evening to the morning. But in situations like this, you need accompanying infrastructure. And one of the key infrastructure that you will need comes from the energy space. And that is why His Excellency is going to emphasize on some three key areas. The first one is what he calls the light up Ghana. The second has to do with the time of use tariff. And the third is the aggressive deployment of electricity infrastructure such that every Ghanaian has access to electricity by the year 2028. Let's start with the Light Up Ghana. In this particular initiative, there are two things that His Excellency intends achieving. If somebody has to work, say, from 6 p.m. till the following morning, 6 a.m., we know during this period, it is usually dark. But the state must provide the infrastructure to ensure that the country is properly lit. And this will involve making street lights available in all parts of the country and keeping them on. It is not just enough to just have street light poles on streets as part of the road architecture. The most important aspect of it is to keep these lights on, such that my mother, who may be in Agbugloshi to buy something, will feel very comfortable and safe to go to Agbugloshi actually to buy it. Or my sister, who is dealing with second-hand clothes in any of the markets, will be confident enough to put the clothes on a table and sell whilst the environment is properly lit. How is this going to be achieved? His Excellency says that for every initiative he introduces, there must be a job creation component to it. So with the street lighting policy, he has indicated that we will engage small businesses and small entrepreneurs in the various communities and various districts and various towns and cities to maintain these street lights. So for example, I am in Nampaduri, and that we have street lights in Nampaduri. That has been provided by the Ministry of Energy. The Ministry of Energy is situated in Accra. How do we maintain the street lights in Nampaduri? We will do that by getting local entrepreneurs who would be empowered to have it as their responsibility, ensure that these street lights are constantly on. And you all know the challenge we always have, that when you put street lights, people tend to go for the cables just to sell for their own personal gain. When we surrender the safety and maintenance of this to local persons within the districts, within the towns and within the villages, not only will we be giving them jobs to do, they will also be ensuring that these lights are lit. But again, putting these lights on is a cost. His Excellency the President has indicated that you and I for many years have been paying what we call the street light levy. The street light levy has two purposes. It's one, for the cost of the energy that is being used, and two, for the deployment and maintenance of the street lighting infrastructure. His Excellency has indicated that this levy will be ring-fenced and properly accounted for and used for the purposes for which you and I pay using our bills that are given to us by ECG or NETCO. Now, the time of use tariff. What is this time of use tariff? Consistently, His Excellency has said it is not going to be compulsory to sign up for the 24-hour economy. However, as a state and as a government, it will be our responsibility to provide incentives that will make businesses tap into this policy. And how is he going to do it? He indicates that usually we have a normal tariff structure and a tariff that is set up by the PURC that everybody pays. In addition to the fact that, yes, these particular tariffs are going to be restructured in such a way that there will be a discrimination between the tariff structure and the tariffs that are paid by businesses and those that are paid by households, just to be able to make our businesses very more competitive. He's also indicated that anybody who hooks up to the 24-hour economy and operates in the night will have a different tariff structure. A tariff that will be lower than the tariff you pay during the day. So let's say, for example, I manufacture pure water. I need electricity to be able to produce this pure water. From morning 6 a.m. to evening 6 p.m., there's a tariff I'm supposed to pay, which ordinarily I am paying now. But if I decide to hook up to the 24-hour economy and also then move, apart from producing from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., I decide to produce from 6 p.m. again to 6 a.m. in the morning throughout the night, which means I would have to employ more people. The tariff I will be paying, the cost of electricity will be cheaper during the night than during the day. You can put it in another form, that if you use electricity during the night in your business, the amount of money you pay for the same amount of electricity you will use in the afternoon will be cheaper. That is an incentive that businesses can tap into. But you see, you can only talk about enjoying street lights or enjoying the time of tariff use only if the grid is in your neighborhood, is in your village, and that is the access to electricity. Access to electricity has been very key for NDC governments over the past, and indeed for John Mahama. You will recall that the National Electrification Program, initially called the Rural Electrification Program, started in 1990. At a time when the access to electricity was just 15%. So the whole Ghana, only 15% of Ghanaians had access to electricity, who could enjoy electricity in the day. That was when His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings introduced the Rural Electrification Program that finally became known as the National Electrification Scheme. Between 1990 to 2001 January, His Excellency Jerry Rawlings had increased the access from 15% to 45%. His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor took the access from 54% in January 2001, from 45% to 54% in January 2009. And from January 2009 to December 2016, under the Mills John Mahama government, the access rate was increased from 54% to 84%, a 30 percentage point increase. Unfortunately, the same rate has not been maintained under this government. Per our calculation, on an annual basis, this current government has been doing 0.8% increment in terms of access. And that is why they have made their projection that they intend declaring universality, that means ensuring that all Ghanaians have access to electricity by 2030. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama says he will reduce the time frame to 2028. And so the third leg of ensuring that people who want to enjoy the 24-hour economy will be to ensure that every Ghanaian has electricity. And that's the access to electricity. And this is the target he's giving to himself, that by December 2028, our current access rate will be increased to cover the whole of Ghana. And therefore, Ghana would have met one of the key provisions in the SDGs that have been set by the UN that talks about the fact that by 2030, all nations should be able to declare universality in terms of access to electricity and in terms of modern energy services. And this is what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promises. 24-hour economy will come with the Light Up Ghana, where every village, every city, every town will be lit. A time of use tariff, where people who decide to tap into the 24-hour economy in the night will pay a lower tariff. And 3, an expansion of our access to electricity that will ensure that Ghanaians who still do not have access to electricity would have access to electricity and would also then benefit from the 24-hour economy. That is going to be one of the policy underpinnings towards our industrialization drive. Thank you very much.